feel like talking to you is going to be exciting because yeah, you were a real student and like you're one of the my more advanced students, I think, just from the program and some of the stuff you're able to do, and you have funding and an eager clinic that's behind you, which is even harder to come by. I think
Yeah.
people who are technicians who get into 3D design, that's another big hurdle. I don't know if I can tell you about it, but I can't help you through it. So yeah, so thanks for taking the time to talk to me today. I really do appreciate it. Just can you tell everyone, introduce yourself and just tell them what you do and where you work and what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. My name's Mark, and I work at NYRehab. I'm a technician, and I manage the lab. We do full fabrication in-house.
Nice. And so
Yeah.
you guys primarily do BK sockets and carbon laminations, right?
Yep, primarily lower extremity, using 3D printing for our inner sockets and traditional laminations for our outer sockets, and carving and laminating the traditional way.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and that comes with its caveats, right? Like, can you take me through? That's where you were at the beginning of your, before meeting the digital design revolution and getting into design literacy. So, take me through where you are now and how that's changed from then versus, what you can produce today with, the printers behind you.
Yeah, absolutely. When I first started here, it was all plaster cast, and we did carving. We always did that. But now, after working through your course, we are using some ZBrush and Fusion, and it's just been a total game changer for us. We're 3D printing inner sockets, and it's just helped streamline the whole workflow here. Uh, it
Nice.
saves us time and energy just fabricating the traditional way.
Yeah. How
And
has been the experience for you running a Sidewinder and like slicing your own parts? Like, in the beginning it must have been one thing and now it's probably second nature.
yeah, so the whole 3D design and workflow is a bit of a hurdle in the beginning, but once you get past that, with your course and working with you has helped that tremendously. It does become second nature, and everything is just very easy to flow through. It's a great workflow.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
so how has your experience been with the coursework so far? Like it was yeah, like describe to me what it was like in the beginning and now what you're able to do and where you want to be with it, in a year's time, let's say.
Yeah, well, right before, I we discovered you, just the thought of getting into learning CAD and Fusion is overwhelming. And I think that your course has really just jump-started that with a focus on O&P, and it's given me direction for learning digital design work. And otherwise, it would just be something that's just, overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen any of the other stuff online for like other O&P like SAS software or big ticket items like let's say Rodan or something like this? Like, have you seen tools there that you wish you had that you didn't have or that you felt like you couldn't perform, or do you have all the tools you need? You think to be able to do anything essentially?
Yeah, I believe with simple FDM printers, we are actually at, the optimal, workflow. Even with just a $400 printer, and your digital workflow works for us probably much better than a $500,000,
Machine.
MJF printer. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, because not only that, you'd have to be learning how to run a floor shop, a giant floor machine, uh, MJF printer on top of doing CAD work, right?
Yeah.
Uh, what have your
Yeah.
patients said about the 3D designs that you guys do, or like when you scan someone, like how does this affect the value that they see or the excitement?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it's the precision that brings the most value to everyone, especially the patient. Um, that we have better fitting sockets, quicker, cleaner, and more cost effective. So it's a win for patient number one, business owners, and technicians. It's a win-win-win. and I don't think we'd ever go back to a traditional workflow.
Nice. What would you tell other, if technicians who are looking to get into 3D modeling and digital design, what would you tell them as like I said, any tips for advice now that you've had you got your feet wet, and you know what you're doing, what kind of advice can you give people?
Yeah, take the course. Just it's not common that you find a course that's directed specifically to O&P.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said, it's overwhelming to try and learn a program like Fusion or ZBrush on your own with no guidance, no direction. So my advice would be to absolutely learn through O&P Digital Designer. It's just taken us from here to here so quickly and almost effortlessly.
Wow. Well, I really appreciate the kind words, and I'm gonna keep writing content. And you guys were a big hand in making my content relevant and appropriate and concise. So I appreciate everything you guys did for me as well for all of
Yeah,
that. So yeah, thanks for taking the time. I'm sure everyone's gonna find it really useful. And let's here's to getting some more technicians in on the program and getting digital literacy out there for everyone.
thank you, Art. It's been a pleasure.
As always, it's been my pleasure too.